Good morning and welcome to Catholic Chicago, WNDZ 750 AM on your dial. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowicz is taking a well-deserved rest this week, so Mark Teresi is sitting in for Father Greg. Wish him well. Hope he rests. Hope he's not doing all that work, even though he's in a different location. We have a great show today. The first half of the show is very dear to my heart. I found out that we're going to be talking to Julie O'Sullivan and Beth Wojtek about Misericordia Bakery and its expanding new location. Will be opening soon over on Ravenswood. Little transparency here. I love Misericordia. Our daughter Dulce just celebrated her 1-year anniversary at Shannon Apartments. She works in the bakery. I hope she does a good job. Sister Rosemary Conley, Lois Gates, Father Jack Clare, Kevin Conley, Mary Pat O'Brien, all wonderful, wonderful leaders of the mission and ministry of Misericordia. Misericordia cares for Christ's most vulnerable. 500 plus residents, 600 plus on the waiting list. There's a local campus at over Devon and Ridge, and there are Sillas around the neighborhood. It's an absolutely outstanding ministry. And Julie and Beth, welcome to Catholic Chicago, and we're going to be talking about the new endeavor that I think Sister Rosemary probably dreamed up, and then everybody else does a beautiful job making it happen. So welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Now, Julie first, and then Beth. Give us a little background. How are you connected? How did you connect with Misericordia?
So that's a great question. I actually went to Mother Macaulay on the south side of Chicago, which is run by the Mercy Nuns. Mm-hmm. And so I had a great introduction to Misericordia, and we would come here in high school, and I just felt like I had a really, really good connection. Just being here. And I just knew when I graduated college that this is where I wanted to be. I also have a cousin that lives here. So Misericordia has just been in my life, from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And it's always been such an amazing mission and place. And so I just sort of found my home here. And I've been here for almost 20 years.
Wow. Where does your cousin live? What residence?
She lives in the Quinlan homes.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then Beth?
So I have a connection I found out about Misericordia through Father Clare. He was actually our parish priest out at St. Hubert's in Hoffman Estates when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. And so our family was pretty close with him. And, life takes you in strange directions. And I wound up becoming a baker kind of later in life. And always had it in the back of my mind that Misericordia had a great bakery. Didn't really know all that much about it, but then when I found myself looking for a job, I saw one come up, and so I immediately knew that this was the place that I wanted to be and where I wanted to do my baking. It's you don't find many places where you can bake with a mission. Instead of just at a hotel or restaurant or something like that. So I really love working and teaching the residents how to bake and how to work in a kitchen. So that's kind of my journey here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, this was not rehearsed. So this morning, I know I'm coming to talk to you folks, and we get a call from my daughter-in-law who said her babysitter's sick. My wife usually babysits Monday, Friday. So she said, could she come today? So as she's walking out the door, she says, Mark, we have these St. Patrick's Day parties. I was going to Misericordia to the sweet shop today to pick up 6 loaves of Irish soda bread. I said, well, don't worry. Julie and Beth are on the show. I'll put my order in over the radio.
We'll get it for her.
I will be at the sweet shop later today, so I'll make sure she gets some cheese.
Now, we've been so, people at Holy Name, when we have parties, will go to the sweet shop and get those beautiful trays. Our little Hispanic nuns that work at Misericordia love the soda bread. Sister Guermina came into my office yesterday and said, "Now, Marquitos, please, next week we need two loaves of that soda bread, okay? Okay. She's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk before we get into the new location. Let's talk a little bit about Misericordia Bakery offers a lot of variety of product. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Okay.
So the bakery on campus, we offer, pretty much all types of baked goods. The majority of what we do goes to our shipping and pickup orders. We have gift baskets and gift boxes that are available on our website, and people can ship all over the country, except for Hawaii and Alaska. But all over the country, we ship to every state of the contiguous 48. And we do, like you said, party trays that people can pick up for any function that they have. We also, the bakery on campus provides all the baked goods for the Sweetheart Shop in Glenview. And also, we're going to have our greenhouse reopening soon. And so we provide all the desserts and sell our product in the greenhouse as well.
Good. And Julie, your role in this new endeavor is what?
So I'm the marketing manager for Misericordia, and I handle all the social media and media as well. And so my role will be to get the word out there and make sure that everyone knows when it's opening and when they can come, and just everything that'll be available to them. And what we're really trying to do is reach out to the community around us, and obviously all the people that drive down Ridge Avenue, possibly on their way to Lakeshore Drive. And, it's just going to be we're hoping for a great community response. And, this is just an opportunity for the residents to have work off campus. And so we're excited to get going, hopefully soon.
Yeah, describe the building. I drive by. We live on Granville, so I'm driving by almost every day, and it's a beautiful facility. And it's not a little coffee shop. It's a grand facility. You want to describe it a little bit for folks?
Sure. I mean, you bet. Take it. Yeah.
So it's a 3-story building, and the main floor will be the main bakery and cafe with a drive-through, so they can come in right off of Ridge/Ravenswood Avenue, and there will be seating on the main floor for about 30 people inside.
Oh.
There's a lounge area with some couches so people can relax and have their coffee. And so that is the main floor, and it's a full bakery. So all the product will be baked fresh right there every day. And we have a cafe menu, so sandwiches, salads, soups as well. And then on the second and third floors will be additional programming for Misericordia residents. And those areas, one will be an art program, and I believe the third floor is yet to be determined. So there's additional space on the second and third floor. So it's going to be a hoppin' building. Wow. There'll be a lot of activity going on every day at the cafe and the floors on the second and third floor.
Yeah, I think we're just really excited to be able to expand, obviously out into the community, but also, to bring the bakery to the greater community, but, the art department as well. The art department is such an amazing program, and, we try to show all over the city, as well as, as a parent, at all of our auctions. And this is just another opportunity to be able to showcase our artwork. So we're hoping that people will be able to get to see it. We're not sure if that particularly will be open to the community, but we'll definitely be able to have some tours there as well. And so it's just, it's really fun to be able to have the art program expand.
And we will definitely showcase artwork within the cafe on the walls. And so that will definitely be how we decorate.
Now, I know Misericordia over the last couple of years with COVID has had to be online. I know that special art event that they have was online, very successful. In fact, our daughter had one of the paintings that was featured.
She had paintings of dogs, didn't she?
Yeah, good. And she, my wife bid on it, and then my sister bid on it, and then it got to about like $300, and that's was out of my sister's price range. So we woke up the next morning. Our son had looked it up, and that picture netted like $750, which I was shocked about. It was a cute picture, but the talent is so prominent there, and you folks draw it out of these young people and these residents. I think with the bake shop, isn't it also, I think if people are listening and you're in a parish, that will be a great trip. Come have a cup of coffee in the morning and then go to the greenhouse for lunch even. Let's talk a little bit. Go ahead.
They can even, I was just going to say, they can even stay longer at the bakery on Ravenswood, and there's going to be paninis and things like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
lunch. Yeah, we'll be serving, breakfast treats and lunch. We'll be open until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Beautiful.
To start. But as soon as we get our feet under ourselves, we have plans to expand to later hours as soon as we can. So, we're really looking forward to having a full day service of there's pictures of the couches that everybody
beautiful.
can come relax on. So, it's going to be we want to make it a really homey and cozy place that everybody can come and enjoy.
Now, you started talking about the menu, so there'll be bakery goods, coffee, but also sandwiches and things where if people want to come for lunchtime, they can come.
Absolutely. Several different sandwiches, salads, and something for everybody. We'll have vegan and gluten-free options, and just to be able to serve everyone in the community, and rotate the menu and have it be as exciting and fluid as we can.
And I'll say this, and we're going to take a little break, but I'll say this. So Andersonville folks, if you're listening, Swedish Bakery is closed, and this will be a great alternative to the Swedish Bakery because the quality, people have to understand, and we'll talk a little bit more after break, it's high-end bakery goods. It's not, it doesn't look like Aunt Jody cooked them and half the cookies are broken. No, the pastries are absolutely wonderful. We're going to take a break, but I'm going to end with this little story for this section. So our dulce is at the sweet shop in Glenview. And, the residents are very exact. And she was asked to train a new resident that was coming to work. And the resident was in the back on her phone. And Dulce says, "Excuse me, put the phone away. You're here to work." And I thought, whoa, she got it. And don't mess with Dulce. Anyway, we'll be WNDC 750 AM Catholic Chicago. You can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're talking to Julie O'Sullivan, Beth Wojtek about the new Misericordia Bakery, which is opening very soon in, I'd say, Ravenswood, Anderson area. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
At Catholic Charities, we fight hunger in Chicago throughout the year. Our 6 regional offices in Cook and Lake counties work together to offer sit-down and to-go meals to anyone in need. We deliver meals to those who are homebound, and our 8 food pantries offer 3 to 4 days of food supplies based on household size. Participants in these programs have the opportunity to learn about other Catholic charity services that strengthen individuals, families, and their communities. The challenges for those dealing with food insecurity are especially great during the winter months. To learn how you can help those who are hungry in your neighborhood, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7525. That's 312-655-7525. Thank you for your generosity.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
We're back, WNDZ 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Mark Teresi sitting in here for Father Greg Sakowicz, who is taking a well-deserved break, a vacation. We're with Julie O'Sullivan, Beth Wojtek from the popular, it's going to be new, and it's going to be a hit in that neighborhood, Misericordia Bakery. It's expanding. There's a new location. It's opening soon. I never thought as a diabetic I would ask this question right away, but talk about your, it may be through the bakery here and also through your original bakery. But one of the things we discovered in our family are the cakes that the bakery produces. I mean, our daughter had a little wedding reception. We did the cake. Birthdays, we do the cake. And it's kind of one of those unsung products that the bakery does do. You want to talk a little bit about that? And maybe also, how can people right now get to some of the bakery goods?
Sure. We do special occasion cakes of all shapes and sizes, from a small 6-inch cake up to a full sheet cake that can feed well over 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
And people can order those by calling the bakery and accessing that through the website, that number through the website. And we will do birthday, anniversary, christening, baptism, first communion, graduation, any occasion your family or loved one is having, we can make special occasion cakes for that. We also have the kind of special printer that can print off images, so we can make it, unique to your needs. Those will be definitely still available at the campus bakery, the Hearts and Flower Bakery on campus, the bakery and cafe. We will expand into that hopefully in the future, concentrating on just the breakfast pastries and sandwiches and breads to start, but there's no limit on what we could do there.
Good.
And we can definitely connect you to the right people.
Exactly.
If you're at the Ravenswood spot, that we'll get you in touch with who you need to talk to.
Great. So, Beth, you're in marketing, right? You're in marketing?
I'm in marketing.
Yeah.
Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julie. So give us the little elevator speech about the new bakery. Tell our.
I can.
Go ahead.
Sure. So the new bakery obviously will be opening soon, and what it is a work opportunity for the residents in the community. And so we're expanding our bakery. We've had success with our bakery in the past, obviously, and so we wanted to expand. And one of the things that was the most important thing was that this was Sister Rosemary's vision. She always wanted something off campus that was a drive-through bakery on Ridge Avenue. She just saw all those cars and knew that those people needed us and wanted us to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're offering to the people is on the way to work, pick up coffee, which is actually from Collectivo Coffee. And so we partnered with them. And then pick up a fresh baked good. We're going to be doing donuts, and if you want a breakfast sandwich or something on the way to work, we're the spot to go to.
So on a personal note, so Julie, you were at Mother Macaulay. You saw the Mercy Sisters in action. You earlier in the show, you and Beth both said you're kind of called to Misericordia. It's more than just a job; it's a vocation. Talk a little bit about that. What you see in terms of the work of Misericordia, and how your work is connecting with that work, Julie, and then I'll ask Beth the same.
Sure. So the staff here is absolutely amazing. We have almost 1,200 staff. And one of the things that we do like to talk about is every other year we have a dinner called the Staff Recognition Dinner. And that is for employees that have been here 10 years or more. And we have almost 400 employees that have worked at Misericordia for 10 years or more.
Wow.
And so I think that shows the people that, we want to be here. We're here for the mission, and we're absolutely here for the residents. And once you come here, you shouldn't be coming here for a job, or you can start here and come here for a job and then realize why you're here. And that is to work with the residents and sort of fulfill the mission of Misericordia, which is just making sure that, they're having the best day possible, the highest quality of life, and of course, being as independent as possible.
Great. And then Beth, what about you?
Just to tag on to everything that Julie said, for me personally, it is, I had a career before, in baking and working in places before. And it really, there is something special when you work at anywhere with people with disabilities, and making sure that you're teaching, you're passing on your knowledge. And it's a way of teaching that is really unique. It's not teaching standing in front of a classroom. You are, I get to hands-on and spend time, and it teaches me patience. It teaches me kindness every day. And it really, it makes the job, like, as you said, more of a vocation than a job. We still come to work and do our work every day and make sure that we are successful. And especially as an operation is like the bakery, where we are bringing in revenue for Misericordia, and we want to have that as successful as possible. But we want to take the time to, cut through the noise of that, to sometimes, just yesterday, I was up at the Sweetheart Shop, and one of our workers up there was at the cash register, and there could be a line of folks waiting to ring up at the register, but they know and they see who is working at the register. And she kind of paused and turned to me and said a little bit, she's like, she didn't know how to count out 95 cents. And so it's like taking the time, and it's like, okay, let's just think about it for a second. And the customers don't mind. They're not they know what the mission of Misericordia is and who they are working with. And so just having to have that experience in the real world, and not just in a classroom, is just really heartwarming, and it makes every day unique and every day special.
Beautiful. Now tell people, our listeners, Glenview, Evanston area, Niles, exactly where that sweet shop is. And it's more than just sweets. I mean, there's beautiful different gifts that you can purchase and stuff. So either one of you want to give people specific, get them there. Let's get them there.
The Sweetheart Shop in Glenview is located at 989 Waukegan Road. And it is open
Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4. So it's right on the corner of Waukegan and Glenview Road. So just very convenient.
And there is parking in the back.
Is parking in the back.
We want to stress there is free parking in the back, and you can go through the back, and that's where you can pick up your sweets. That's where you can have a little, pick up a little lunch if you need to. And, as you're seeing now, there is a beautiful little boutique there as well that's selling all of our, there's some Ms. wear, but then there's some last minute gifts that you can pick up for St. Patrick's Day or whatever holiday is coming up next. So it's a great little shop to pop into and kind of get everything you need, to stock up for the weekend or whatever it is that you're doing.
All right. You made me think of something too, getting back to the bakery. Corporations should, like for instance, Father Greg, we had an ungala, and he sent, I think we sent 50 gift boxes out to folks as a thank you. And it was interesting because one of the little ladies that donated said to Father Greg after Mass one Sunday, I never got a thank you like this before from Holy Name. And she said, and I put almost everything in the freezer. I'm taking one thing out a week to eat. But just the idea that we can be partnering with Misericordia and be of benefit not only to Misericordia, but a thank you to, like in parish, to our parishioners or to our family. The boutique, the gift shop. My wife, Christmas, the commitment is if we're doing gifts, it's from the sweet shop. And it's just a commitment that we have. Before we were parents of a resident there, we just love the mission. So let's talk just a little bit before we have to close on when you think you're going to be open, and then also the greenhouse. When is that going to be open?
The greenhouse, actually, the greenhouse restaurant that is located on campus, which of course is another work opportunity for our residents, and it's been around since I believe the early 90s. And obviously, we've been closed for 2 years just to protect our residents as well.
Right.
So we are hoping to open literally next week. So March 15th is our hopeful date to open. So we are going to give it a try and and see what we can do. So March 15th for the Greenhouse Inn.
Beautiful.
And that, and then in terms of our new bakery and cafe on Ravenswood, we're shooting for the end of April, I would think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think COVID has set back a lot of people, and that's just kind of what's been happening to us. And so just in terms of making sure that we have everything we need, and we want to be able to open and open well, and and have the staff that we need and everything. So we're hoping for end of April.
Good. And one last thing, because I think this is a good part of the ordering process. You can order and have it sent, but also, Beth, what about you can pick it up at Ms. You can order something and pick it up where?
Absolutely, you can pick it up on campus. We have our usual pickup location is at 1850 West Foam. So if you either order online, there's an option for pickup, and so anything that we have online can definitely be picked up there as well, or picked up at the Sweetheart Shop.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I want to thank you both, Julie O'Sullivan, Beth Wojtek, for your commitment to Misericordia first, to the residents, especially as a parent, to be able to know folks like you have a solid commitment to their welfare and to make them the best they can be. And you put up with Dulce, which I think is a real plus.
She's wonderful.
We love her.
Can we mention one last thing? We do have Candy Days coming up. And so we just want to mention Candy Days is our big fundraiser in April. And of course, it's virtual again, so you can visit our website. You can start your own page or donate to ours. And then this month, during March, our friends at Jewel Osco are doing their register campaign. So go and shop at Jewel and donate to Misericordia at the register. And that's just such a wonderful opportunity, and we're so thankful to Jewel.
And with Candy Days, if you're on Facebook, you can put Misericordia as the charity, and your friends and folks who on Facebook can donate for Candy Days.
Absolutely. Well, as the social media person, share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And that's the message for today. Julie O'Sullivan, Beth Wojtek, thank you so much. Misericordia.
Thank you.
Bakery opens the end of April. Greenhouse opens March 15th. WNDZ, 7:50 a.m. Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. You can see us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Catholic Charities has had the privilege of helping people in need in Cook and Lake County for more than 100 years. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our frontline workers who, despite the unprecedented challenges of the past 2 years, continue to excel at their jobs every day. From the warehouse staff members who pack boxes of nutritious foods for low-income seniors, to the dedicated WIC employees who have remained open for families with children under the age of 5, to our volunteers and restaurant partners who ensure that meals are available for those experiencing hunger, to our service coordinators and our professional counselors who continue their vital work in innovative ways, to our food pantry staff, and to all those who work at Catholic Charities Call Center, finding solutions for every person who reaches out to us for help. Charity is at the heart of all you do, and we salute you.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
At Catholic Charities, we want to remind you that we are here for anyone who is a victim of domestic violence or anyone who has a concern about someone they think may be a victim. Domestic violence affects millions of people each year, both women and men, of every race, religion, culture, and economic status. It includes physical, psychological, and emotional abuse, inflicted in both subtle and overt ways. The impact on children can be devastating. If you or someone you know are victims of domestic violence and you are looking for a place for healing and recovery, call us at 773-935-3434 in Cook County and 224-430-4977 in Lake County. A safer, happier tomorrow can begin today.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
We're back. WNDZ 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Once again, thanks to Misericordia and our first half, Julie O'Sullivan, Beth Wojtek, misericordia.org, and their wonderful bakery is going to be opening up. In our second half, it's a very important discussion that we're going to have about Jewish-Catholic relations with our special guest in honor of the 26th Annual Joseph Cardinal Bernardin Jerusalem Lecture. And it's in honor of Cardinal Bernardin's trip to Israel, to the West Bank, to Gaza, accompanied by local and Jewish leaders in March of 1995. And our guest today, Dr. Dan Olson, is the Director of Office of Ecumenical Interreligious Affairs for the Archdiocese of Chicago. Welcome. Barbara March-Canto, Assistant Director of American Jewish Committee, AJC, Chicago Regional Office. Welcome. And Rabbi Rini Dickman, Executive Vice President of the Chicago Board of Rabbis. Welcome. Welcome to all of our three distinguished guests. Before, Dan, I ask you a little bit about our Office of Ecumenical and Religious Affairs. It's very interesting to me that we're going to be talking about Cardinal Bernardin's trip. And just a personal aside note, one of the men who was instrumental in coordinating that needs prayers right now, Father Tom Bema. I remember very distinctly, he's a colleague of mine at Mundelein Seminary. We talked about this trip very often. There's video of him escorting the Cardinal through many of the sites. He is the head of interreligious studies at that point, and he is in the hospital, Northwestern, as we speak. And the good news is he's eligible and going to have a stem transplant. So let's keep him in our prayers. What a commitment he had to this area of Jewish-Catholic relationships. So Dan, Director of the Office of Ecumenical Religious Affairs, let's start with that. Talk to our listeners a little bit about what that means for the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for your prayers for Father Bema. Much appreciated. Our office is tasked with living out, actualizing our identity as Catholics, to be in dialogue with others, members of other religious traditions, other Christians. So our office staffs Cardinal Supich in his outreach in this regard. We also maintain relationships with the Jewish community, with the Muslim community, with all of our interreligious partners, as well as the ecumenical Christian brothers and sisters that we have. We also are very important in educating Catholics about the value of this work, organizing dialogue meetings, working with parishes to further their efforts. So that's some of the work that we would do on behalf of the Archdiocese, bringing about that identity that we have to be in dialogue.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Barbara, you're Assistant Director, American Jewish Committee. Talk to us a little bit about what does that position entail in terms of these relationships, the Catholic, Jewish, other ecumenical relationships?
Well, thank you for having me on today. Yes. And American Jewish Committee, we are a global Jewish advocacy organization. Our mission is to enhance the well-being of the Jewish people in Israel and to advance human rights and democratic values in the United States and around the world. And, we say, why interfaith? It's important to get to know our partners and people that are different than ourselves. That way we can help combat anti-Semitism as well as hatred targeting other religious and ethnic groups. Our commitment to Catholic-Jewish relations in Chicago goes back many, many decades. We live as neighbors, but we often don't know a lot about our religious practices and beliefs. Mm-hmm. And it's important to know that. And so we've had dialogues that have been going back decades in Chicago. We have had educational enrichment programs where we've brought Jewish educators into Catholic schools. We've brought Catholic educators into Jewish schools to educate each other about our religious beliefs. Right now, Dan and I have a conversation we've called Coffee and Conversations, where we get together several times throughout the year with our communities and talk about things that are important to us. And I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank Cardinal Supich because he has been a longstanding champion in standing up against anti-Semitism. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Rabbi Rini, you're Executive Vice President of Chicago Board of Rabbis. Maybe for me, not necessarily that position, but your trip to become a rabbi, how did that vocation occur for you?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. We're actually celebrating, June will mark the 50th anniversary of the first woman to be ordained as a Reform rabbi, June 3rd. Mm-hmm. So we're celebrating that milestone, and I grew up in a world where there already were women serving in the role of rabbi, though I didn't know any. Mm-hmm. And my journey to the rabbinate was very much influenced by my own rabbi, Rabbi Mark Shapiro of blessed memory, who was a mentor and a cousin also, and my experiences throughout Jewish summer camps and Jewish youth groups and Hillel. I was fortunate enough to experience really positive Jewish experiences kind of throughout my life. And after college, made the commitment to study for the rabbinate myself.
Beautiful. What was your family's reaction to you letting them know you were going to be studying to be rabbi?
They were excited and proud. My parents were both very involved in our synagogue and in the Jewish community. So they were not surprised. They were really happy.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now, I'm going to offer this question to all three of you, but maybe we'd start with Dan. From your perspective in the arts, describe local Jewish-Catholic relations. Why is this relationship so important for us?
I begin with what I find to be a gift exchange. that our forefathers, our foremothers in faith, the Jewish people have something to teach us as Christians, not just about Jesus and Mary and the early apostles, but there is that. But ongoing, who are we in relation to God? I think there's a lot that we can learn together from one another as we get to know each other better as friends, as people of faith. So there's that gift that comes about. And I might add here a bit of a sense of responsibility that I think the Christian people have to take toward our Jewish brothers and sisters for past our history of persecution, and that we have to come to terms with that, and then in the future make sure that doesn't happen again. Make sure that we are speaking truthfully and in dialogue with our friends in the Jewish faith. That's a really important responsibility that I think Christians have to accept and move forward with.
Good. Thank you, Dan. Barbara, what about you? Why is this important?
Well, it's important for the reasons I mentioned earlier. And also, I echo everything Dan said. He's been a wonderful partner in having these conversations. It's important to learn about each other. It's important to stand up against hate in all forms and against all people. And it's important to have the partnership there. And so we really appreciate the partnership that we have with the Archdiocese in Chicago.
Great. And Rabbi Rini, as a religious leader, why is this important? Why is this important to you?
For all the reasons that Dan and Barbara stated. And the Jewish community we're very small. We're a very small percentage of the American population, even though for those of us who live and breathe it every day, it might seem like a large world, but it's not. We're very small. And for us to have the opportunity to connect to other people of faith, to know that there are other really large communities out there who have faith and are motivated by that faith to do good in this world is very, gives us strength. Mm-hmm. It gives us a lot of strength. And it's an opportunity for us to learn more about other people's beliefs and to share what we believe and to work together.
Beautiful. It sounds like all three of you have a great relationship, and that's what we would build on. We're going to take a little break. WNDZ 750 AM Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408, or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. When we come back, Barbara, maybe we can talk a little bit about that annual State of Anti-Semitism in America report, and you do an annual look at that. We'll come back, talk about that, and then continue our conversation and move into the 26th Annual Joseph Cardinal Bernardin Jerusalem Lecture. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Ancestry and genealogy are more important every day. People all over the world are wanting to learn more about their family heritage for personal and for health reasons. At Catholic Charities, we are hearing from adults who lived for a brief time at St. Vincent's Orphanage, the wonderful life-affirming agency that operated out of our headquarters for 91 years, serving thousands of women, children, and families until it closed in 1972. Our post-adoption services help adults who want to learn more about their experience at St. Vincent's. Our compassionate staff members provide whatever family background information they can offer, along with support and reunion services. To learn more, call 312-655-7093. That's 312-655-7093. The spirit of St. Vincent's lives on in the inspiring stories that continue to emerge today.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
We're back. Catholic Chicago, Mark Teresi here sitting in for Father Greg Sakowicz, WNDZ, 750 AM, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago with Dr. Dan Olson, Director of Office of Ecumenical and Religious Affairs for the Archdiocese, Barbara March-Cantow, Assistant Director, American Jewish Committee, and Rabbi Rini Dickman, Executive Vice President of Chicago Board of Rabbis. And before the break, I had said, Barbara, your group conducts an annual State of Anti-Semitism in America. What are you learning? What are you learning on an annual basis? Where are we?
Yes. Thank you for asking that. So American Jewish Committee's State of Anti-Semitism in America 2021 report featured one of the largest ever surveys of American Jews in the U.S. general public on anti-Semitism in America. And there were some important takeaways. So today, 90% of American Jews, or 9 in 10, think that anti-Semitism is a problem in the United States today.
Wow.
We found that 1 in 4 American Jews has been the target of anti-Semitism over the past 12 months. And one of the most concerning things is also that American Jews were changing our behavior out of fear of anti-Semitism. In the last year alone, nearly 4 in 10 American Jews have avoided things like publicly wearing, carrying, or displaying things that would help people identify them as Jews. They've avoided certain places, events, or situations out of concern for their safety or comfort as a Jew. Or they've avoided posting content online that would identify them as Jewish or even sympathetic to Jewish issues. And, it's a scary time in a way. In our houses of worship, you have to go through many layers of security. As Rini said, we're a very small minority of the population, and it's alarming. And so I appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you.
That's really eye-opening information. Rabbi Rini, what are rabbis talking about in terms of, that's the report's more formal. Informally, what are you seeing in terms of your congregation's feedback to you about this issue?
I'm seeing more officers at the doors of synagogues, standing there, watching every person that comes in, more conversations about security and the cost of it and the need for it, desire on the part of rabbis for more trainings of what to do if, God forbid, a situation occurs. It's disconcerting, to say the very least. It's very upsetting.
Right. And what can we do? What can we do together to build bridges instead of breaking them down? Dan, what about you? What can we do?
Well, I think a first step is an awareness of what we're hearing today. That, as a Catholic Christian, I don't have that same experience. I can go to church at any time of the day. It rarely is not locked. So just being aware, speaking with our neighbors, Jews, Muslims, and others that can feel threatened in a very real way, changing behavior in ways that I, as a Catholic Christian, do not. So learning and becoming educated about that, and then reaching out locally. Get to know the Jewish community in your neighborhood. Talk with them. Have different events planned to show your support. Those are the things that I would say, and maybe Barbara and Rini can comment on that, but those build the best bridges is at the local level between communities.
And it's interesting because we had a Renew My Church meeting with our downtown parishes last weekend, and I believe it's Old St. Pat's. There was a Catholic Jewish couple, and they were trying to understand for their children, how do you educate them to both of those traditions? And what they discovered was there are a lot of interfaith couples that are dealing with that issue, and I think there's support there in the parish for that's a building block. That's building dialogue. But let's get, how does this annual Joseph Cardinal Bernardin Jerusalem lecture build dialogue? Maybe Rabbi Rini, how does that build dialogue? And if one of you, because I saw the notes on it, but you would probably be much more familiar with explaining the topic for the lecture than I would be. So, Rabbi Rini, why don't you start? How does this build dialogue, this kind of a lecture?
It's an opportunity for people to meet each other, to learn together. I will say that the process of planning it together, I think, is just as important as the occurrence itself. Discussing different topics, discussing different scholars, learning about scholarship that is out there together with this really wonderful group of people that has planned this together has been a really nice process of getting to know each other. And I am not personally familiar with the work of Dr. Sarit Katten-Gribet, who is Associate Professor of Classical Judaism in the Theology Department at Fordham University, but I'm excited to learn with her, and it should be very, very interesting lecture.
Dan, you want to give a little, some specifics, maybe the topic and how can people tune into this lecture?
Well, I think I share a collective lack of wisdom about Queen Helena among the panel. But this is one of the reasons that I'm looking forward to the lecture, in all honesty. I know she was a first century figure just after the time of Jesus, and she provided goods. She was a foreigner. She came to Jerusalem and served the Jewish people, became a Jew. She converted. So her story in itself, I'm looking forward to hearing more about. But also, what does it mean for us today is where Dr. Sarit Katten-Gribet will be leading us. Okay, so this is an interesting historical narrative, but what can it teach us today? And I think that's what could be of value as well of hearing about her story. But what's the legacy and what does it teach us today?
And give the specifics for it. How can people tune in?
It will be March 22nd. It will be at 1 p.m. She'll be coming to us from Jerusalem, so the time will be at 1 p.m. local in Chicago, Central Time. It's something you can live stream. There is not a public program. It's a live streamed event hosted by DePaul University, another one of our partners. The link and the information can be found on the Office of Ecumenical Affairs website. There's a flyer on the Archdiocese website, and some of our partners also would have that up. But eia.archchicago.org would be a place you can go to find that information.
Okay, and maybe a final question for all of you. As people, particularly, I mean, it's really impacting me, Barbara, your study, and then Rabbi, your reflection on it. If people are experiencing the kind of prejudice that they're displaying in these reports and personally to you, Rabbi, what can people do? where can they go with that kind of pain? Are there support groups? Do they report it somewhere? How do you handle that kind of prejudice? Rabbi or
Sure.
Barbara?
I'll say thank you for that question. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. We think about different kinds of support groups that we want to offer people, and I don't know of a specific support group for people experiencing anti-Semitism. Wow. Though I do have a call next week with a group of rabbis who want to talk about what is the kind of pastoral care that we can offer to people. If it's, I don't know what the right word is, if it's big enough that it requires a response, often people will call the ADL or AJC to report it. Okay. They can also, depending on what it is, obviously call the police. The Jewish United Fund can also respond to the Jewish Federation, but often they call their rabbis. And sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's something that a child or a teenager experiences on social media. Sometimes it happens at a school, and then the parents are in a difficult situation of, do they call the administration? Do they talk to the teacher? So AJC and ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, are really experts at helping families negotiate that. But rabbis need to know more about it too, how to respond.
Great. And Barbara, what about you?
I agree with everything Rini said, and I also encourage people, if they are experiencing something, to contact the police, the FBI, and hate crime reporting is very important. And so I encourage people to reach out to the authorities when they feel that they've experienced anti-Semitism.
And it's interesting because as you look at the support folks will need, we as Catholics should be involved in that. We should be involved in helping not only to listen to those issues, but also to provide support from the broader community. Dan, any last words from you in terms of the Office of Ecumenical and Interreligious Affairs for the Arch?
I might just comment on this issue as Catholics, to be aware of what we say, how we talk about people, Jews and others. That is a contribution we can make, thinking about how anti-Semitism is in some ways even unknown to us. It comes out in different ways. Be attentive to that. Be attentive to our preaching. Just be aware and be in dialogue with our Jewish partners to learn more.
And one more time. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Can I suggest, Dan said not being aware of what anti-Semitism looks like. We have a great resource on our website. It's ajc.org, and it's called Translate Hate. And it goes through many different a glossary of terms that may be anti-Semitic, and it gives a history of them. So if you're interested in what is and is not anti-Semitic, I encourage you to go to our website.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And also tune into the Cardinal Bernardin Jerusalem Lecture, 1 p.m., March 22nd. Thank you to Dr. Dan Olson, Director of Office of Ecumenical and Religious Affairs, Barbara March-Canrow, Assistant Director, American Jewish Committee, and Rabbi Rini Dickman, Executive Vice President of Chicago Board of Rabbis. What a wonderfully insightful half an hour. I really appreciate your mission and your ministries. This is Catholic Chicago, WNDZ 750 AM on your dial. You're watching, either listening or watching us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Thanks to Michael May, Brian Brock, our producers for Catholic Chicago. Have a blessed day. God bless.